So it's been quite the journey arriving at this point. Well, at least trying to get this stuff to work. So I bought a 3D printer about a year ago, and was all excited about 3D printing and whatnot and doing stuff of that nature. And then I ain't gonna say I got in over my head, but then I realized like there was a lot of other stuff that went into 3D printing besides just grabbing a file and then hitting a button and printing. Like, gotta make sure your settings are right, gotta make sure your stuff's cool. You just can't be just expecting things to happen and then wondering why the stuff don't work. Like, and I feel like a lot of stuff happens that way. We feel like it's just supposed to happen, or I just want it to work. And it's like, do you even understand how the stuff that you're doing works, or are you just doing it just for the sake of doing it? And I felt that way in the beginning when I was trying this whole 3D print stuff. I was like, oh, it can't be that hard, I'll just get in here, 3D print, da 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 da, and it'll work. And it did the first time, and I feel like that's like a line or a scene out of like The Alchemist. Like, you know, whatever you want to do, if it's supposed to happen, it's gonna work the first time because it's something that you're supposed to arrive at. But every time thereafter, it'll be hard. But the reason why it's hard is because it's testing you to see if you're really deserving of what you're trying to do. And whereas a lot of people, you know what I mean, first time some shit don't work, they'll just give up. They're like, oh man, this don't work. I don't understand this. Da, 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 this is butt. And it's like, no, you got to put in like due diligence. So with that being said, like, I had to teach myself. I'm still self teaching myself how to CAD and model and whatnot. And that's what like the ultimate direction was, because it's fun printing stuff, but it also gets old printing somebody else's stuff you didn't even make. And you know what I mean, there's only so far you can go with that. And so I took a deep dive. I started watching some videos, reading some forums, reading online information and stuff like that. And I arrived at, like, I'm using a program called FreeCAD to like model stuff and make stuff. And this, what you see here, is like the end result of me playing around with like FreeCAD. And I made some holders for our controllers, and you can see, like, so that was pretty basic. And I made them to match the different colors of our controllers. And you see, I still may tweak the design, because at the end of the day, this is still PLA plastic. You can see on this one, like, I screwed too hard. That's because I was test bedding it, and you can see like it's cracked right there, because again, it's PLA plastic, and there's only so much of a tolerance you can have applying pressure to it before it gives out. But in this application, it works okay to hold controllers. And then, so we got a blue one over here that I'm trying to I got the bed ready for this one, and that's another one that's being printed. Like I said, this has been a journey. Like, sitting up late at night, learning FreeCAD, learning how to model, learn how to take like physical measurements and inputting them in a computer and making the stuff work. Let's just say, if you really are interested in the things that you want to do, you'll do what you need to do or have to do to get to where you want. Because this was a bottleneck for me, because there was a lot of stuff I wanted to do as far as like printing and designing stuff and whatnot. I couldn't do it because, well, I couldn't say I couldn't do it. It's just that it made it harder to do some of the things I wanted to do because of the fact that I didn't know how to model things. Like, again, printing something is, I ain't gonna say it's easy, but it's like all you gotta do is grab a file, make sure it goes on your bed, and make sure the settings are cool so you don't mess it up. But modeling is something completely different. Like, you're looking at something, you're taking something in a physical space, and then transferring it over into the digital world to end up ultimately back in the physical space again, which is like, it's ironic, but it isn't at the same time. So this is like, again, this is the process, literally the process of getting all this stuff rolling. And think about getting a different monitor, because this is kind of overkill to keep an eye on what I'm doing down here. But yeah, this was just a stopgap until I get like a real place to start printing stuff at. So I just use this monitor that we had down here to do that. Yeah, this is pretty much where I'm at. Like, I'm gonna try to start making more things, and I gave myself a design challenge, which was try to design, or at least at the end of the day, design something for print every day, or at least when I have the free time. Or, and this was one of the projects. Another one I made downstairs was I made some brackets to go on a piece of wood as a divider inside our bunny's cage. So it's a definitive border between where he's pooping at and where he eats. And the brackets turned out pretty good, and I'm kind of happy about them. So, but yeah, this has been a journey, which is still ongoing. But yeah, this is where I'm at. This is where we're going. So I don't know. I mean, at some point, I may sell these files or make them available for people to tweak or print. Or if you're interested, you can hit me up, man. I could make you up something, especially like this seems pretty niche in designer, because you know what I mean, they match the controllers, and I got a myriad of different colors. I could probably make somebody one that matches their controller, because after I print the blue one and put the blue controller up there, I'll print two more to go on the outside of this, so they can be so the two PlayStation 4 controllers can be on the outside as well too. But yeah, this is where it's at. I mean, kind of going with the theme of like everything in here. Like you see that's her computer. That I kind of bare bones that didn't want to put it in a case. And yeah, just the general color theme of the floor and stuff like that. You see it's green and yellow and whatnot. And yeah, man. So this is where we at. The first stage was like getting this all done up here, but now that I'm able to 3D print, now I'm gonna be able to put stuff on the walls and start finishing off and making this a true game room. This has been a process up here, trying to get all this stuff like going. So yeah, this is where we at. This is it's the first step, and many more. Thanks.